Can I get some overreactions from Thursday night's game?
Yes, that's what we here for. Listen, Mike.
Wait, what's Thursday night? What's the context?
No, the first game I want to talk about, Brooklyn versus Philly.
Oh, why not? Bring it.
That shit was so fucking disappointing, bro. It didn't even make sense.
I love it.
And the only reason why it was kind of close in the first part of the game is because them fucking fouls, bro. And those fouls I'm like, bro, I'm really about to change the channel because Joel Embiid legit got like 10 free throws in a row.
Yeah.
And the shit was
he was tied with Brooklyn.
Slowing the whole game. And the one foul where like he was trying to, I think KD went over to double and he was trying to like turn around and he kind of threw
shot
the ball
backwards.
up.
Yeah,
I was like, that's when I was like, yeah, this KD finna take this shit personal.
I just don't see why. You can't give Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving extra motivation. I feel like that shit is just a recipe for disaster. And then James Harden showed up and put up a big stinker.
Oh, I was waiting for James Harden to show up.
Well, I believe the motivation that was there ain't because of anything anybody did.
I think it was the booing. It was the fans. It was Joel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what. I couldn't read the
but I think prior to Joel that they came with that energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they wanted to win it for Ben.
Yeah,
he said that in the post game.
Yeah, so I think you add that. Seth Curry had his own extra motivation that was probably echoed in Drummond as well. And then you also had Danny Green running his mouth the weeks prior to this game. And
what did he say? I didn't even see what he said.
He was saying weeks before that he didn't think Ben would play. We know how Ben is. He don't like playing in Philadelphia. Then we got even closer to the game. And he was talking about shit that the players were doing in the locker room. They was discussing who they could get for Ben and just shit that was just really weird.
He also interviewed Drummond on his podcast, and I watched the visual version of that because I was curious. Facial expression mean a lot. Let's play that. And anytime Drummond was talking about Ben Simmons, he had this half-hearted ass smirk on his face.
Danny Green?
Yeah, Danny Green. Like Drummond would be like, well, when I was here, which is true, when I was here, I didn't really get to play with Ben because I signed here after y'all lost on the playoffs last season. So I didn't really get to know Ben, but now that I'm getting to know him, he seems like a real coal dude, and Danny Green just sitting there like with little smirk. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker right there that you just did before your teeth got shown. That one.
Yeah, and that was just real weird to me because they got their ass bust.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like the team – Philadelphia. Well, not the team, but Danny Green. He's a part of the team. I can't speak on anybody else. That's what make it weird about Danny Green. It's like nobody else gives a damn anymore. Like the team, it seemed like they moved on. Doc Rivers, when he was asked what I saw one of his quotes, but I actually saw him speak one time. He was like, we moving on or whatever. And here's Danny Green talking about what.
But I will say thank you, Danny Green, because you just made it more interesting. So I like when NBA players use their platform to just talk shit. Like Patrick Beverley was talking shit on JJ Redick's podcast.
Yeah, but Patrick Beverley.
But he understood, like he put himself into the context too, right? Where he was talking about how he was talking about Luka being a flopper, but he was like, but I be doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So like he understood the bigger picture involved in it.
Yeah, and Danny Green make it all worse than even play.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
his finger was hurting.
He was in a Spaces last Friday, and then last Friday, what I was telling people was like,
Derek's face is always hilarious to me.
You don't remember that?
I think that was the Friday before.
It was?
Yeah, that was with Combo, and y'all was talking about college basketball.
That was last Friday.
Oh, I thought that was a Friday before this one.
It's not super important.
Okay.
I don't know if the date matters.
Yeah, but I just want to understand.
That was real recent when
Friday,
y'all put in the chat like, oh, y'all said something about combo or something like y'all was chatting in space. That was real weird. That was real
last Friday.
recent.
He thinking I'm talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
Like I would have said yesterday. But we was in there talking about the 76ers, and I was telling people like, the young kids call it hating or whatever. But when I've been watching the Sixers, I've been waiting for the moment to see their weakness and see the bad things about them because I'm not going to fall for the honeymoon stage. I know Sixer fans, I was loving when they was beating up on my Knicks and the Timberwolves and shit like that. But this trade was made for them to win a championship. You know what I mean? They was making the playoffs with Ben. So making the playoffs ain't going to satisfy them. And, I think a lot of people was taking that the wrong way, Sixer fans. I remember one dude was like, Pee Wee the plug gonna cry when we win the championship. I'm like, yeah, tears of joy, nigga, because I like the process and Doc Rivers. But
shout out to Hinkie.
That don't stop the fact that this team is not what people made them be in a honeymoon. Like this team will have flaws. Mm-hmm. This team will have issues. And that's what I was waiting to see them in adversity because I felt like them games where they had us, it was like I said, the honeymoon stage. There was games we kind of predicted that they would win against the Knicks and things like that. And the perimeter shooting, the consistency has always been my thing.
The perimeter defense too was so bad.
Tobias Harris' rhythm has been a big part for me because
he tried to catch fire.
in games
Well, the
like that
thing
they're
is,
gonna need him.
I mean, when James wasn't doing the goddamn thing, Tobias was like, okay, I got to do
was
something.
trying,
yeah.
And he was better.
He was trying.
He was trying.
Yeah, and I feel like Tyrese Maxey was kind of looking like James Harden.
He was
Do your-
stuck in the middle.
Yeah, he
Yes.
was kind of like James Harden, do your thing, and James Harden just kind of like
Do your thing.
do your thing.
And that's the thing about James Harden that I like. Don't get me wrong, I like James Harden, but the more and more I've seen, especially over the last couple of years, I feel like I was tricked and bamboozled. This is a guy that I was speaking very highly of, better than Wade, could be one of the best because of the things he was doing in Houston. But now when you start to see things, trends, it kind of is who you are. He kind of does fold in these pressure moments.
The big time moments have. There's not a lot of big time moments in James Harden's
When that
career.
intensity steps up, it seems like he kind of folds.
And you know what? I was listening to Zach Lowe's podcast, and he made this a statement yesterday because they were talking about this game as well, where he said he went back and watched every single James Harden playoff game since he left OKC, trying to figure out what is the biggest moment of his career when it comes to playoff time. And he was like, the best performances of James Harden's playoff career is when they were down 3-1, with the game. I mean, sure, it matters that you can come back, but at the end of the day, you're still going to lose that series. And he was like, clutch buckets in the playoffs, James Harden doesn't have a lot. The ones that he do have are like,
meaningless.
we're down by 5, so they let us get a layup because they're preventing them from shooting the 3. He doesn't have great clutch time moments playoff time.
You remember Game 6 against the Spurs
Manu.
with Kawhi was out and he still came out and put up a stinker.
Manu did block that shot.
Kevin Durant being hurt.
But like him and Joel both have the parallel there where like the playoffs have not been nice to them.
Yeah. But Joel kind of has an excuse. I mean, not really. No, he doesn't.
Oh, okay. But you would think that them two together, they could figure it
I
out.
wish I would have
Also-
seen more like just action between them two. I feel like a lot of it was just
But
like
that's the thing.
There was a
I
lot of
think-
isolation
yeah,
between the two.
I think it's going to be really, really hard for that to happen when you have to play Matisse Thybulle and teams will, dare him to beat them.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
think
mean?
teams are going to dare Tobias to beat him.
Yeah, I think so too.
They literally doubled and blitzed James Harden all night.
Well, the thing that the Brooklyn Nets did when they talked about in the postgame is like, we're going to let Joel Embiid do his thing because them 21 free throws ruined the flow of everything.
Yeah.
And then you have like an engage, like Kyrie had something to prove for him himself.
no, Kyrie was my favorite that night.
And he was locking up.
for sure.
He brought out that like that park ball type shit. Like, oh, okay, I ain't even finna say shit, but I'm
But
finna
yeah,
be in
yeah.
your fucking
His-
grill.
That's all he had to say. When I saw him tell that whoever that was, Bruce Brown, you go him, I got him. I'm fighting through the screen. I want this matchup.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to see because that's not even who we know Kyrie as.
I know.
But
He's
like you
definitely
said,
not known as a villain.
he wanted that. He took that so personal. And yeah, man, like
It is just one game, but like,
yeah, it's just one
damn,
game.
if this was a matchup first round, this could be a matchup first round.
Yeah.
I would say Philly should not want to get this shit, bro.
And Philly, this what I thought Philly wanted. This what Philly fans wanted. Philly, you know what I mean? And that's why I told Philly fans, like, man, y'all got to take the L because if they would have won, they would have ran with this, and it would have been
Right.
more than just one game. So
I like how Kevin Durant was like,
The post game shit.
no, just letting Ben Simmons. He like Nick Friedel said this, because I guess Nick Friedel works in Brooklyn now. You know, he used to be here in Chicago. Then he went to the Warriors. And now he's in Brooklyn. I had no idea. But he was saying that, like, telling Ben Simmons throughout this whole process, like, you have to come to this game even if you don't play. If you don't show your face, they're winning, right? And he was like, I've been through this. The cupcake shit when I went back to OKC, I've been through this. Difference is Kevin Durant dropped like 30 in his return. But you have to go through this to become a better player and just a better man because, listen, there's a possibility we might have to be here 4 times when the playoff time come around.
Yeah, there's no reason to try to sit up and run away from it. You got to face that shit.
and I bet he glad he did because all
he
he did
did.
was sit up there
And he
smile.
smiled at the very end. He didn't smile through the first 3 quarters. It was like,
boy.
once we got this in the bag, we up by 30.
And he's
here go
still,
my
and he's
smile.
That's what I
still, he's
love.
still been classy with it.
That's what I
Because so
love.
many people was like, man, if Ben Simmons tweet that thing,
I
Joel
wanted him
tweeted,
to so bad.
and he ain't tweet nothing, he ain't like
But
nothing.
then, like,
It was a fake
it
account.
would be-
It was a fake account that did tweet that shit.
Right, almost got me with that white circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it would have been like, really, man, you ain't do a goddamn
Exactly,
thing tonight.
exactly.
Like,
So
if
it's
he
just
come
like-
back and then they win the playoff series and he played,
That's why I
Tweet
was
it.
like, bro,
Tweet it.
don't do nothing. Don't like nothing. Don't say nothing. Just smile.
Y'all saw what Blake Griffin had said when he was sitting on the bench?
That's catchy.
That's catchy.
When he was yelling, chanting, fuck
Hey,
Ben
I ain't
Simmons.
gonna lie, that
Blake
little,
Griffin.
that little jersey, that shit was cold.
The Louis Vuitton jersey.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was like a hockey jersey. But
I was thinking about the
that's
chain.
why I like
chain fire.
what Katie was saying. Well, post game, he's like, you can't boo him when y'all down 30 y'all damn selves. And second, he's just like, they was talking about the impact. What did that game mean to them? He's like, we ain't clinched no playoff spots. We ain't win no championship. So that shit was just another game to us. So
When you look at Milwaukee, Grayson Allen, the Heat, Duncan Robinson, Brooklyn, they even have Seth Curry. The Sixers don't have like a sharpshooter specialist.
Okay, I didn't know where you was going.
No,
with that
I
for a
didn't either.
second.
I didn't
know
either.
where
They don't have like one guy you can
It could
classify.
have been Forkar Korkmaz, but he don't want to hit
Yeah,
shots.
he was
no more.
supposed to be that years ago, but I'm over it.
He hit 40% of his threes like a year ago. Then 38 last year. Now he's at 29%.
I'm over the
and even when
Forkar
they put him
Korkmaz.
in, they be defensively suspect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
true.
best shooter they have right now is Jordan Yang. Shout out to him. He hit his
He be
shots.
hooping,
Yeah.
bro. He be
But
aggressive.
He shouldn't be your
He's
best.
a guy that, throughout a 7-game series, he could probably go absent
He
for
can get you
4,
a
and
game.
in game 5, randomly, he'll probably hit
He might fuck around and have a Kelly Olynyk game.
one of those. Yeah,
Yeah.
he can definitely have one of those. But the other 6 games, you probably might get your ass eliminated in. He won't
But
even.
this is why I think that these trades are so much bigger than like we gotta win it this season. Like, of course, your aspirations are to win, but like there's so much room for growth for both organizations
For
to
sure,
build the perfect team around their star players. So like, if they don't win it this year, and all the rumors are true that they're gonna dump Tobias Harris to OKC's salary cap, and now we got $25 million in cap, that's where you get your extra shooters, and next year you get it.
Yep.
And if you don't win it next year,
Yeah, when you look at
I
Drummond,
ain't got nothing to say
Drummond
about
is
it.